All right, so we are going to go through pages 87 and 88. So we're determining if the following are functions, and we're either using one of two things. We're either using the vertical line test, if we are given a graph, which I tend to just abbreviate VLT, or we're looking for repeats in the x value if we're given ordered pairs. So if I look at this first one here, I can see that if I started and did a vertical line test, I won't get too far where I would have 2 points on the same vertical line, which would mean that they are the same x value, and so therefore this one is not a function. If we look at the next one here, if I look at the x coordinates, I have a 6, a 4, a 6, and as soon as I hear that repeat there, then I know that no, this is not a function. If I look at the next graph, I look at where these ordered pairs are located, and that first one looks fine. There's nothing on the same vertical line. But when I look at this, I can see that this point here and this point here would have the same x-coordinate of -1, and so therefore, no, this is not a function. If I look at the next one, I'm given a table, and so I'm looking for x-coordinates for the repeats. I see 1, 3, 5. I'm good up to that point, but then I see that there's a repeat of 7, which means those 2 points would fall on the same vertical line. And so no, this is not a function. So out of our first 4 ones here, none of these are functions. They don't pass the vertical line test. They have a repeat in the x value. So let's look at the next 4. So if we look at this table of values here, we can see that we have a 1, a -3, a 5, a -1, and a 4. There are no repeats in that x value, and so therefore this does represent a function. If we look at the next one, we're given ordered pairs. So I look at those x values, -1, -2, 4, 7. No repeats there, so therefore this is a function. Next one asks us to circle the independent variable, that's our x value, and underline our dependent variable, which is our y value. And so it tells us the number of miles driven and the amount of gas that you use. And so if you think about it, you would have to drive those number of miles, and then you would have the amount of gas that you use. The amount of gas that you use depends on the number of miles that you have driven. The next one is the temperature outside and the time of the year that it is. If we think about this, we mentioned that if we have a unit of time, whether it is days, weeks, months, seconds, whatever, that is most likely our independent variable, and that's true here. So the time of the year is going to be our independent variable, x, and the dependent variable is going to be the temperature that it is outside. Next, we're looking at mapping diagrams. And mapping diagrams are really just another way of either writing a table or writing out the ordered pairs. And you can, for each one of these, write out the ordered pairs. For example, for number 1, the ordered pair would be 6, 6. 6 goes to 6. The next ordered pair would be 7, 6. The next ordered pair would be 9, 6. And you could see that 6, 7, 9, there are no repeats in the x value, and so yes, this is a function. Notice that there are repeats in the y value, and when that happens, we have a horizontal line, and that's perfectly fine. We're allowed to have a horizontal line. That is a function. So we really are looking just at the x values. One way that you can do that very quickly with a mapping diagram is that if just from this x there is just one line coming off of each place, you can write down all the ordered pairs, but I would know that the ordered pairs here would be 2, 8, 7, 2, and 8, 6. Since there's only one line segment leaving each one of these x values here, they can't be any repeats. Same thing if we look here, we would have 1, 9, we would have 4, 6, we would have 8, 9, and we would have 9, 6. No repeats, and so yes, that is a function. If we look at this next one here, we've got 0 going to 6, 1 going to 0, 5 going to 4, 7 going to 6, and 8 going to 0. Notice how there was just one line that left each one of these x values here. And so yes, this is a function. Taking a look at our last 4, I can now you should be able to very quickly just look at the x's and make sure there's just one line going. So there's one line here, one line here, one line here, one line there. Yes, this is a function. If I look here though, immediately I see how that 8 is going to map to 0, as well as that 8 is going to map to 5. And since there's 2 leaving the 8, this is not a function. Everything here is just one line leaving each x value. So yes, it is. And then here, number 5, I see the 5 here has 2. It goes to 0. And it also goes to 1. And so that would be a repeat in the x value. And it's not a function.